Hey guys, it's Ryan here with Hobbies Man. Once again, and today we're going to be doing another manga for Suppressives review. Today we're going to be looking at this new book called Legendary Warrior Momo by Yuji Kobayashi and Z1, or Zone, I guess you could read it that way as well. And this is in English. However, this is by a new publisher. This publisher is called Alien Books. They are the rights holders for the Valiant characters. So they're technically a comic book company that decided to get into manga, and they decided to do this slightly differently from your standard American company, right? So they actually decided to follow more of a Japanese style printing. So they included a dust jacket, which has this wraparound cover of Momo. And the interior is actually quite plain, but usually in Japan, these have like special little things going on in there. And the listing on the website said that this had color pages, or that the series has 4 FC, 4 full color pages. However, this first book does not have them. So I don't know when it'll happen, probably in the 4th book, I would guess. And this book has 5 chapters. The demographic for the story is seinen. It comes out in Seinen magazine. I think it's the same one as Ultraman. And the genres here are sci-fi, fantasy, I guess you could call it like a retelling, because this is a sci-fantasy retelling of the Momotaro story, right? And the Momotaro story is basically this little farm boy decides to be a hero of some sort. He goes off on a journey. He gathers 3 companions, a dog, a pheasant, and a monkey. And then they go off and defeat these monsters, these oni, right? These ogres. And he brings peace to Japan, and, you know, he becomes a great mythological figure of Japan. It's not exactly how it goes, but that's what I know about it, right? So that's what this is basically about. So you can kind of know what's going on here. However, this story actually feels a little bit more like Boichi wrote it, if that makes sense. It starts off in space, then it transitions to this comet falling from the sky. The comet crashes, and it turns out that it's a space shuttle. Out of the space shuttle, a boy or a young man comes out, and this guy is Taro. He eventually meets a woman, a great female warrior goddess character, and she turns out to be called Momo. And Momo and Taro meet and are going to become one character at some point, or they together form the human character in the Momotaro story. And they have a lot of issues, understanding each other. They speak the same language and stuff, and there's a mystery that unravels that tells you where they both come from and why Momo is here and why Taro arrives and all of that stuff. But that's not really that important. What is important is that the main kind of narrative thrust here is that Momo is a quite violent, survivalist, pragmatic type person, and Taro wants to be more empathetic, more genuine, more gentle. And so there's a big clash between the two of them about how to do this, how to exist, right? However, I would side with Momo on this because the ogre characters, the oni, want to eat them. And anything they do that isn't kill the oni leads to their death. So Momo is correct. Although Taro's empathy is important, because this is how we're going to get our, animal companions, right? And these animal companions are actually not animals. They're furries, basically. So along the way, Taro befriends a bird boy. And then at the end of the story of this first volume ends with them at the village of dog people, right? Not like Dogman, more like kobolds. So that's 2 out of the 3 animal companions. We'll see where they get the monkey. Unless they count as the monkey. I don't think so. I'm sure there'll be like a gorilla person, right? And I like this. I enjoyed it. I am happy that this series got published by this, new publisher, because competition is always good. But at the end of the first volume, I was satisfied, but not necessarily craving for more of this story, which is not great, because the cliffhanger ending is quite good, but not necessarily good enough for me to rush to get the next volume. Of course, I can't really rush to get the next volume anyways, so it's not really that big of a deal, but it definitely means that I'm probably gonna end up taking longer than I really want to get the next volume, right? So I'm not really sure how to feel about this. Like, I would rate the story like a 4 out of 5, but my excitement for the next volume is like a 4 out of 10. So it's not like, or like a 2 out of 5 to keep the scale the same, right? Which means that I like the book, but I'm not sure that I necessarily need to read the second one. And I think that's just because I understand this story relatively well. I know what the Momotaro story is. I know how it kind of goes, how it ends. And so seeing a sci-fantasy retelling of it is not necessarily that interesting to me, right? However, I think that a lot of other people are going to really like this. If you like stuff from Boichi, right, but you don't want to read Dr. Stone again, I think that this might be something for you. This is not by Boichi. This is not related at all. But if you wanted to see something more fantasy-esque from Boichi, which you can't get because he doesn't do anything that's super fantasy-styled, this is probably the next best thing that you can get. That is similar to Boichi, but still, more fantasy-esque, still in the sci-fi realm, but just a lot more fantasy-esque. This is probably the best way to, satisfy that urging, right? So that's what I recommend you do if you're interested in that sort of stuff. Otherwise, there really isn't too much else to say, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys in the next one. So, goodbye.